Der Riese and KINO Der Toten are two of the most iconic zombies maps in all of Call of Duty Zombies. But which one is truly superior? Today we put that to the test by comparing both maps over 10 different categories to see which map truly reigns supreme. Please note that I've tried to set all of my biases aside. I have broken down all the features that each map offers, and I have tried to view them objectively. If you disagree with my opinions, be sure to let me know in the comments constructively. And with all that out of the way, let's begin. Our first category has to do with the prime feature that exists in both maps, and that's the Pack-a-Punch. Specifically, I'm talking about the Pack-a-Punch's accessibility. For Der Riese, the player must link all 3 teleporters to unlock the central Pack-a-Punch room, whereas on KINO Der Toten, only 1 teleporter is required, and it's consistently usable after linking once. The player does have to run back to the spawn room to reactivate that teleporter once the cooldown has gone away, but rarely is that ever an obstruction. As far as ease of use goes, Der Riese can be time-consuming early on in order to get that map set up. However, the map is just so small, rarely, again, is that ever an obstruction. And for KINO, the teleporter is simple, the system is easy to understand, and it's very intuitive. On Der Riese, the teleporters are more strategically placed, requiring the player to effectively go to all areas of the map in order to fully unlock the Pack-a-Punch room. Whereas on KINO, it lacks complexity, but is very useful for panic teleports. If the player ever gets into a sticky situation, they can just teleport away and save themselves. And again, as far as accessibility goes, which cooldown kind of relays into, Der Riese has 0 cooldown, and it is permanently accessible once all 3 teleporters are unlocked. KINO, however, does have a cooldown. Now, it's, again, rarely obstructive to the player. However, I did need to dock points because it does have that cooldown, and it does also require the player to go to a different location to use it, whereas on Der Riese, it's just permanently accessible right in the spawn room. So as far as Pack-a-Punch accessibility goes, we are going to give the point to Der Riese. Now, what about map layout and flow? The size of Der Riese is a small to medium map. It is very compact with a lot of looping paths. However, it does have rooms that lead to dead ends and requires the player to backtrack in order to get to the main area of the map. KINO, on the other hand, is a medium-sized map, and it has a circular pathing, ideal for training all the way through the map. Speaking of training areas, Der Riese has great camping spots and decent training spots, whereas KINO Der Toten doesn't really have any good spots for camping. However, it has one of the most legendary training spots in all of Call of Duty Zombies, being the stage. And the stage is ideal for solo and for co-op, depending on the player's positions. As far as verticality goes, Der Riese is a mostly flat map with a couple of stairwells. KINO Der Toten isn't much different. It has slight vertical elements such as the stage and the projector room. And as far as accessing other parts of the map that do have stairs going up, there's nothing below that. So as far as a playing field goes, it's relatively flat. As for navigation on Der Riese, the teleporters can help, but can be tight in co-op. Whereas in KINO Der Toten, it's a much larger map. It's easy to navigate with a big circular flow that is much better for co-op. And as far as trap placement goes, there are 2 electric traps for high round strategies on Der Riese, whereas on KINO there are 4 total traps that are well placed for crowd control. So as far as map layout and flow goes, we're going to give the point to KINO Der Toten. Wonder weapons. This is a pretty big category. The main wonder weapon for Der Riese is the Wunderwaffe DG2. It's an iconic wonder weapon. Now, just as iconic, KINO Der Toten has the Thunder Gun, which is known as a really good escape weapon and less so a high round weapon. As far as effectiveness goes, the DG2 is powerful. It hits 10 zombies at a time, but it can down you even with Juggernog. The Thunder Gun from KINO, on the other hand, is a safe weapon. It clears entire hordes in front of the player, and it has no self-damage. For reliability, the DG2 requires precision. If you miss even a single zombie, then your shot doesn't work, and ammo conservation is highly needed. The Thunder Gun is a lot more forgiving. Ammo conservation is even more of an issue, but because it takes out so many more zombies, it kind of becomes less of an issue, and it is perfect for clutch escapes. As far as the support weapon pool for support wonder weapons, Der Riese has the monkey bombs and the ray gun, both of which are very good, very useful. KINO has the same pool with the monkey bombs and the ray gun, but we also get the crossbow with the explosive distraction tip that can be used like a monkey bomb. So as far as wonder weapons go, we are going to go ahead and give it to KINO. Enemy types. So this is for the types of zombies that can spawn on either map. For Der Riese, you have the standard zombies that can walk, and you also have the fast sprinters at higher rounds. And KINO has the exact same. They have the standard slow-moving zombies for earlier rounds, and then you have the fast sprinters at higher rounds. For special enemies, Der Riese has the Hellhounds, which were introduced in this map. At the end of the Hellhounds round, it drops a maximum ammo, which is highly useful for high rounds, and for KINO Der Toten, we have that exact same situation. However, KINO also has Nova Crawlers, these extremely annoying, low-crawling, wall-crawling zombies that release Nova gas upon being killed. As far as special round rewards go, it's the exact same for both. You get the max ammo at the end of the dogs rounds. And for enemy design, Der Riese has this simpler, less intrusive design. And on KINO, we have a very similar design for the zombies. The Nova Crawlers look amazing. They look so creepy and scary, but again, they're just so annoying, so I'm docking points for that. So as far as enemy types go, we're gonna go ahead and give this round to Der Riese. Perks and loadout options. Der Riese has 4 perks available, that being Quick Revive, Double Tap, Speed Cola, and Juggernaut. And for KINO Der Toten, if we are excluding the DLC 4 update, the base map has the exact same 4 perks. For weapon variety, Der Riese has this classic World War II loadout across wall buys and the mystery box, and there is very limited fantasy weapon options. In KINO, however, we have the exact same returning favorites, such as the MP40 and other World War II classics, and then we also have this expanded Vietnam War, Cold War era arsenal, such as the M16, Stakeout, etc. And then again, for those wall buys, we have decent, mostly older weapons, but a decent selection of good wall buys. And on KINO, we have a lot more variety of wall buys, such as the before mentioned M16, the MP40, which is iconic, the Stakeout, etc. And as far as the mystery box goes, in Der Riese, it's slightly outdated as far as the look of the box goes, and it does exactly what it claims. It gives you a random weapon. On KINO, the box has a more modern feeling, as modern as a World War II abandoned theater can be, but it somehow feels more balanced. And so for the perks and loadouts option, we're gonna go ahead and give this to KINO. This is a bit more of a boring category, but we still need to talk about the game engine and mechanics. Now, both games are running the IW 3.0 engine, the Infinity Ward 3.0 engine. However, for Black Ops, we have a much heavily upgraded version of this engine. In Der Riese, hit registration is clunky. Zombies can double swipe extremely fast and just completely ruin a player's run in a matter of moments. For KINO, that hit registration is much more polished. You have better hitboxes, you have slower zombie swipes, so it feels more fair. For movement, in Der Riese, you have this slower, heavier feeling. In Black Ops, there is this smoother movement that comes with the heavily upgraded version of the engine. And for sound design, Der Riese is grittier, and it has this almost creepier atmosphere. But in KINO Der Toten, we have a more cinematic, theatrical feel with this beautiful ambient score. So for this category, we are going to give it to KINO. Replayability and legacy. This is where some of those biases had to be set aside for me. As far as historical significance goes, Der Riese introduced the Pack-a-Punch machine, the Hellhounds, the teleporters. It had huge innovations. And for KINO, it is the iconic first map of Black Ops. However, Black Ops is the best-selling Call of Duty title of all time, and so it had massive cultural impact. And that leads us into community love. Der Riese is nostalgic, and it has this OG feel, but KINO is not only beloved by most players, it is the most played zombie map of all time. For high round strategies, the catwalk, camping, trap run strategy for Der Riese is again iconic. For KINO, the stage training is a lot more accessible to players who are trying to get into training strategies. And then there's like the trap rotations and stuff like that. And so as far as splitting this category between replayability and legacy, unfortunately, I cannot choose a winner, and so both maps are going to be getting a point with a tie. Easter egg songs. Beauty of Annihilation from Der Riese, written by Kevin Sherwood and performed by Elena Siegman, is iconic. It's beautiful, it's dark, it's haunting. And 115 from KINO Der Toten, written again by Kevin Sherwood and performed again by Elena Siegman, is fast and frantic and insane. The trigger method for both songs is exactly the same. You interact with 3 items around the map and the song begins to play. The tones and styles of these songs could not be more different. Again, Beauty of Annihilation is haunting and melancholic but aggressive. And 115 is intense, frantic, battle ready, and has an incredible tone for the map. Nobody goes down while listening to 115. But as far as fan reception goes, Beauty of Annihilation is considered iconic and emotional, but 115 is extremely popular and known for energizing gameplay. The replay value of these songs is pretty close. Beauty of Annihilation matches Der Riese's dread-heavy theme, whereas 115 perfectly complements KINO's fast-paced survival gameplay. And so again, for Easter egg songs, both maps are going to be getting a point with a tie. Both songs are iconic in different emotional registers, with Der Riese being mournful and KINO being adrenaline-fueled. Now, map atmosphere is a big one for most players. From a setting perspective, Der Riese takes place in an abandoned research facility that's gloomy and industrial. KINO, however, takes place in a derelict theater that is elegantly decaying away with this beautifully eerie lighting, with Der Riese having these dark blues and steel grays and flickering lights around the map, and KINO having this sepia tone with warm fire glows and shadows in curtains and halls. Ambient sounds are a big part of a map's atmosphere, and Der Riese has this like electrical buzzing and creaking metal and distant screams. KINO, on the other hand, has whispering voices and projector hums and faint music happening in inaccessible rooms that are outside the map. As far as the emotional impact goes of the atmosphere, Der Riese is cold and claustrophobic and grim, and KINO is haunted and surreal and almost poetic. And unique visual elements between the maps, Der Riese has these teleportation effects and floating power-ups, and that's pretty much all the map has to offer, with the engine being so old. KINO, however, has the stage that is dressed to the nines, and dressing rooms that tell their own story, and projector cutscenes that can be found in these other hidden rooms that you can teleport to outside of the map. But overall, as far as map atmosphere goes, the point is going to KINO. It has this stronger thematic cohesion and haunting presentation that most people, including myself, just love. And then as far as an Easter egg quest goes, neither map really has a formal quest. Der Riese includes small story hints via radios, and KINO Der Toten has a few narrative hints and projector cutscenes, but that's about it. Now, as far as narrative delivery goes, Der Riese has radios providing the backstory about teleportation and Group 935 and the facility being overrun by the undead and all this other stuff. And again, KINO just has these projector shows that are pre-recorded by Group 935, and there's only 4 or 5 of them. So as far as community engagement goes, fans have speculated heavily over hidden meanings in Der Riese of these radios and different things that can be found around the map that tell a beautiful story. And for KINO, it's just mostly atmospheric. There are fewer long-standing mysteries on that map than Der Riese. And on the replayability factor, Der Riese adds lore, but no gameplay incentive really. And for KINO, there's little incentive at all beyond the projector videos. And so pretty much by default, we're giving the point to Der Riese. Now, if we add up all these scores, including our 2 ties, that puts Der Riese at 5 points and KINO Der Toten at 7 points, making it our definitive grand champion. My own personal favorite map between the two is Der Riese. I have a lot more time on that map, but when you break it down objectively, KINO just has more to offer. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to drop a like. It truly means so much to me. It helps out more than you could ever know. And subscribe if you haven't already to get notifications about future uploads. What 2 maps should I have next in this brand new Versus series? Let me know in the comment section down below. And with that being said, hope you all have a great day. Take care.